So the way we would tend to think about this is that leaders are more associated with things like vision, strategy in the long term, innovation, managing the environment around the organization. So those sorts of aspects of leadership, I guess you'd call it. Whereas managers are concerned with making the system run, keeping the current system running, making things work more efficiently or effectively, running the sort of performance management and monitoring of the organization. In other words, much more humdrum, mundane type of aspects of what people do inside an organization. And the key difference there, I always think of it as being, increasingly we think of leadership as being about how the organization is going to adapt and innovate, how it's going to change, whereas managers seem to be those people who are much more focused around the present and maintenance and continuity of the present. But as I said, I think this is a very false and artificial divide, which isn't that helpful, because I think about it in both ways. First of all, in practice, I think anybody who's managing, and they're managing people, to some extent is leading them. In other words, they've got a relationship which is between leader and followers, and if they're going to be effective, they've got to manage that relationship. And leadership essentially there is about direction, and anybody who's managing people has to give a sense of direction and engage with people so that they want to follow. So there's a sort of element of leadership in the management job. And then on the other side, I think that it's ridiculous to think that leaders don't manage as well. Even at the level of, say, the chief executive of an organization, the chief executive is going to spend an awful lot of time managing. They're going to be thinking about the performance of the organization. They're going to be working with people on day-to-day, relatively routine stuff, as well as trying to think about the things that chief executives do when they focus on the future. So for me, although the essence of leadership may be around change and the essence of management may be around maintaining the existing system, I think it's a worryingly artificial divide if you think leaders do one thing and managers do another. There's a lot of sort of overlap. It's like a Venn diagram. There's a lot of overlap in practice.